Hi everybody, it's Tammy here. I want to share with you a meditation that I've been practicing most mornings recently. I usually practice this in stressful times, and we're certainly in stressful times now. So the problem that I've been having, or the challenge that I've been having, is that upon waking, no matter the quality of sleep that I've had, there is just this rush of information, thoughts, stress, tension, anxiety, fear, uncertainty that has been just rushing in, flooding my mind, flooding my body. And so it's a really difficult and upsetting, uncomfortable way to start my day. So I found this, I was introduced to this meditation by Sally Kempton a couple of years ago, and I started practicing it upon waking when I wake up stressed. So I wanted to share this with you, and I've been using it every morning for the past few mornings. So here we go. So this is from the Vijnana Bhairava, and I'll show you the book here. This is the Vijnana Bhairava as revealed by Swami Lakshman-Ju. And this is called the Manual for Self-Realization. 112 Meditations of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So all of this may sound foreign and unknown to you, but the reality is that so many of the meditations that are practiced in yoga rooms all over the world are actually from the Vijnana Bhairava, okay? So the Vijnana Bhairava is a conversation between the masculine, the divine masculine principle, and the divine feminine principle. And so Parvati, the goddess, or the divine feminine, also known as Shakti or Bhairavi, comes to Bhairava, the divine masculine principle, also known as Shiva or Deva. And she says to him, Shiva, you know, I've studied as much as I can study. I've learned everything that I can learn. I've practiced, you know, I with full of devotion, and yet I still have doubts. How can, you know, there is more to this yoga thing than what I'm getting, and I know it's out there, but I don't have access to it. I know there's more to this. And she says, "Oh Lord, oh Deva, what is the real essence of the way we have to tread?" And Shiva responds to her and says, "Oh dear Parvati, you have asked me that which was worth to be asked for, because this is the essence of all tantras." And so he goes on to give her 112 ways to merge with him. So this is the instruction manual for how to marry the divine masculine with the divine feminine. So we're going to practice the 73rd way of merging with the divine, coming into yoga, coming into union. So the divine masculine principle being consciousness, or the ground of consciousness, and the divine feminine principle being creation itself, or the energy, okay? So now this is all based on the thought or the theory or the experience for some that the perceiver cannot be perceived. So if you're looking at this theory or this philosophy of yoga that everything is one thing only, then how can we as humans, or Parvati as the divine feminine, ever be separated from that which is the divine. So as long as there's a me and a you, then we remain in duality. And this is what Shiva is sharing with Parvati. He's saying, you are me and I am you. There is no difference between us. There is no duality here because there's only one thing. How can you perceive me when there's only one thing? Parvati, dear, you are me. Okay? So this is the essence of the yoga. So we're going to come and now how does this tie back to waking up in the morning with stress, tension, and anxiety? Here's the dharana, here's the meditation. This is the 73rd meditation. Concentrate your mind on your will when it is about to flow out. Not when it has flown out, when it is about to flow. Or concentrate your mind on your knowledge when it is about to flow out. When it has flown out, then nothing will come. Nothing will happen. You won't achieve anything. Just at that very point when it flows out. Put your awareness there. Let your awareness be fixed there. When your awareness is fixed on that very first start of desire and knowledge, by your own thoughtless intellectual awareness, then the essence of truth is revealed. So rather than when the thoughts and the thinking come rushing in upon waking, when the fear, stress, and anxiety, the uncertainty comes rushing in the morning upon waking, what you do is you catch it just before it becomes a story, okay? So we're not going to get carried away with the story. We're not going to give the mind more fuel. We're not going to fuel the fire with more thoughts or developing a belief or, thinking about the thought that we're not supposed to think about. We're going to turn the awareness away from the story, away from the thinking mind, and we're going to come to practice on the truth behind it, the essence behind it, the energy of it. And since we know that the energy cannot exist without the ground of consciousness, and that the ground of consciousness has no life without the energy of creation, then by coming into this concentration on the energy itself, then that is a pathway to the merging, to the yoga, okay? So this is an advanced practice, and I'm only sharing where I've come to with it. I by no means am enlightened, and I have not merged with the divine, but these are the practices that we've been given, okay? And it's called practice for a reason. So this is so helpful. I really find this to be helpful in the morning. So please try it, give it a try yourself and see if it helps, just to take away that initial rush and just coming back to what is. Okay, so here I go. Just come to a comfortable seated position, either in the chair, or couch, or the floor. And close your eyes. Maybe you can even pretend or envision that you're in bed and it's morning time and you have that experience, you know, you can relate. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, let it go. And whenever you recognize a thought is rising, because it will, they do, it's just incessant, the thinking mind never stops. And before you latch on to a thought, or before you, as Swami Lakshmanji says, or as Bhairava says, as the thought begins to flow out, you want to catch it before it becomes anything of substance. So before there's a story attached to it, before you start thinking of others, before you start giving a name to anybody or anything, and just put your awareness on the energy behind the thought. So the energy may reside in somewhere in your physical body. It may reside in your subtle anatomy. It may feel, mine oftentimes feels like not quite a lump in my throat, but a weight or a pressure, or maybe in the heart. Sometimes as you begin to release the thought, the energy needs to move, and it may feel like a vice grip on the temples, someone turning the vice grip on the temples, tightening the head. If that begins to happen, you can imagine that your mind opens physically and the energy can flow out. But just coming to focus on the energy itself. Learning the truth that any thought that arises, that any emotion that arises, when tension, stress, and anxiety arise, that if you peel the story away, then you come to realize that it's energy. And when you come to recognize it as energy, then it's no longer something to be fearful of. It's no longer something to resist. When we realize that it's energy, something that we're able to welcome in, we're able to hold, or we're able to move it, either with the breath or with physical asana practice, or walk or run. Or maybe we can just come to be at peace with it. But when we learn that these things that we deem to be as negative are actually the divine feminine principle, then we learn that there's no reason to resist anything, because in the resisting we create duality. And in the acceptance of the energy, we're moving towards a state of union with all that is. So please feel free to continue to sit in this meditation of placing your awareness on the energy of the thought before the thought flows out, removing the story and revealing the truth. All is one. And gently open your eyes. I hope this practice helps you in the way that it helps me. Know that it's a practice. And so many blessings to each of you during this time, anytime, all the time. And namaste. Blessings.